First we're going to start off with 1 onion. I like to use red onion. You can also use white onion, whatever you have available. And so I'm going to dice it. So I'm going to cut lengthways and not go all the way through the onion, just about like 1/4 width. And then do that all the way through. Once you have that, you're going to cut the opposite way. Do the same thing and not cut all the way through. Cut straight down. And it'll leave you with perfect little cubes. And you're going to do that for the entire onion. We also want to dice the pepper, so we're just going to cut the top off. And then cut out the core across like this, so it's in 2 separate pieces. And then just make little sticks. Okay, now that we have the sticks together, we're just going to kind of group them into a little pile, hold them on one end, and then just kind of cut them into little squares. And that will be our diced pepper, and you want to do that to the entire pepper. If you don't have fresh corn, you could also use canned corn, just make sure it's low in sodium. Or any other vegetables that you have available is always a good option if you need to substitute things. You could use squash, you could use zucchini, you could use broccoli, cauliflower, anything like that. I washed it with water just to get off any additional debris that was on it. And pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it at an angle like this. And then I'm just going to take my knife and kind of cut as close to the stalk part as I can get. And essentially, as you'll see, the corn will just start to come right off. Cut it into as little pieces as you can get. So I usually cut diagonal and cut horizontal. I've done that. I want to just get it into a little pile. I'm going to take my knife and hold on to one side with one hand and one side with the other, and just kind of go in a little arch, back and forth. Now we'll kind of dice it up super fine like we want it. Next thing we want to do is add about 2 tablespoons of oil. So I have olive oil. You want to try to use olive or vegetable oil instead of animal fats, as this is healthier for you. So I'm just going to pour about 2 tablespoons in, and then we're going to turn on the stove to about medium-high heat. Next we're going to add our chicken. I have sliced chicken breast that is just sitting in some water, and so pretty much I'm just going to open up the can, dump out the water into the sink, and then go and add the chicken breast in here. If you get fresh chicken breast, that's awesome as well. I would just go ahead and just add that straight in, but whatever works best for you. Okay, so we only need 4 ounces of chicken breast, and the reason we're doing this is to get your Mediterranean score up. You want to try to stay within 4 ounces of any type of meat each day. And so we're only going to add 4 ounces of chicken to this dish. You're going to let this chicken breast cook once you add it to the skillet for about 5 to 6 minutes. Alright, it's been about 5 minutes. My chicken's all nice and done. I'm now going to add my onions, peppers, and the garlic we cut up. So I'm just going to add all of that in at once. And I'm just going to mix that in with the chicken, and I'm going to let that cook for about 5 more minutes. Alright, so it's been 5 minutes. Your onion is your best way to tell if things are done. It should be fairly white, almost see-through, and pretty soft. Then you want to add in your rice, just kind of sprinkle it on top, and then add 1.5 cups of water. Okay, so I've added in the water, and then I'm just going to stir it around just a little bit so that all the rice is covered with water. I'm going to add a cover to it and let this sit for 15 minutes. This has been sitting for about 15 minutes now. Add our corn that we had, black beans, and then I'm just going to add those in, and then stir it all together. Put the black beans and corn stirred in. We're just going to add the top back on and then turn off the heat and just leave it sitting here for another 10 minutes. I'm going to fluff the rice a little bit just so it kind of gets some air in it. And then it is ready to be served.